I can't believe this. It's February 26, 2024. And I actually was able to take my voting ballot to the city hall and actually put it in there by myself. And I haven't been able to do that since Al and I did it the last time. So it was a big thing. I know it's not nobody's getting elected during this one, but it's more of weeding out those for the two parties. But it's more for me as voting against the person who, on the news yesterday, he's going to have a riot and he's going to be imprisoning people in November because he's going to be president and they're going to be in a resistance, and we cannot have this happen. This is just not something that can happen to this country. We have been through so many times and so many trials and so many tribulations. We just really and truthfully have to think about the future. And I mean, like today, exactly, probably right now. I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe around 2 o'clock or maybe around 1 o'clock now. There's a little baby being born in my heart family that I can't wait to see and meet. He deserves a world just like his sister and his little brother are deserving worlds, and all the siblings and like all my nieces and nephews, they deserve a world. They do deserve a world that I remember fighting for and protesting for and everything back in the 60s and 70s. But I haven't felt like I've had anything to offer in the last few years because of all the COVID issues, but more so because of my health issues and it's like, wow, and then since Al's been killed, I haven't felt like I've done any kind of standing up for anybody in so long, and I feel so lost that I have not felt like I could truthfully say I've stood up for somebody else, because that's all I've ever done is take care of others and take care of situations and stand up and advocate. I mean, I've been an advocate. I guess, I don't know, my mom said I kind of came out that way, and I've always been the fighter in the family. I've always taken care of all my siblings, and I've taken care of my mom, and after Daddy was killed. So, and I voted, and I protested, and I've been spit on and put in jail. I've been raped as a result of some of my protesting. So, not to be able to do something as simple for some people as to get in the car and drive, which, by the way, I couldn't have done it last week with the massive nosebleeds I had for 4 days. But I looked outside and I saw how beautiful it was, and I just said, you know what? If you don't do it today, you're never going to do it. So you might as well say that you don't have a reason to even be here because you're just existing. You're not living. You're just existing. And just existing is not enough for me. I need to be living. I need to be active and doing things. And I need to be able to help people that can't, or it's not that they won't. It's those that can't. They need to be taught. And I mean, I don't mind teaching people. I love teaching people. I love informing people because our society has gotten so to a point where nobody reads or communicates with everybody else. They believe everything that's on their cell phones, not even just the computers anymore. The cell phone has become how they live. They don't interact. They just watch what people on the cell phone is telling them, like on Instagram and on YouTube and on, what is the other one? I keep getting Facebook and Snap, and there's all kinds of different programs. But they're so involved in what the other people are doing, they're not doing anything for themselves, which is how they become programmed and brainwashed to all this crap that's going on. And I feel like I finally have stood out there and said, look, I know I'm not great. I know I have problems. I know I'm physically frail at times. I know that I'm mentally frail at times. I know that I have a free thinking brain because I was raised by my mom, who was raised by her grandfather, to be free thinkers and think for ourselves and don't believe all the stuff you see. Question everything. I mean, both my mommy and my daddy were Marines in World War II. Daddy was also in Korea. You question things. You don't just sit there and let them tell you this crap. I mean, I watch things on some of the things like Instagram has a bunch of stuff, and TikTok. TikTok is interesting, but it is very well invaded by people that are good at brainwashing people to believe that they're not good enough, they're not pretty enough, they're not small enough, they don't dress well enough, they don't eat the right food, they don't think the right thoughts and whatever. No, you are you, and you are in constant state of learning, and it's perfectly okay to change what you believe because you've learned something new. I mean, I was sitting here and I was in tears when after I put my ballot in the thing. I had to pull over because I just had so many tears in my eyes, because all I could think of is this little boy being born. He's going to be in a world that is different even from the 3-year-old little half-sister and the 5-year-old little half-brothers he's coming into the world. And they're blended this family in so beautifully, and these kids are not going to have that title. They're not going to be stepsister, stepbrother, all this. They're just going to be brother and sister, and I just love that, because I was in it was not blended. I was in the most unblended family you can ask for, with my older brother, who was my half-brother, and then I had there was 5 of us. And then when Daddy was killed, my mom remarried, and he had 3 kids. Let me tell you something. The hostility that developed between us is unreal. And that kind of hostility is now normal out in public. And you've got a guy running for president who says that he's going to be a dictator and he's going to get revenge and everything. That's pure hostility. And he's feeding into other people's hostility. We need to get on our feet. We need to start thinking about our neighbors and I live in a community where, the neighbors hardly talk to each other. I mean, they get holed up in their house. I live with supposedly a senior community, but I'm going to tell you, the seniors I grew up with, they knew their neighbors. They were involved in church events. They were involved in community events. They were in, we had the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts. We had the CAP, the Civil Air Patrol. We had, I just don't see that kind of commitment to people. And you really cannot live by what the internet tells you, because, a lot of that now is that AI stuff. So I'm thrilled. I am beside myself with excitement because I'm so happy. I am thrilled that I have seen that I can do this. This is a first for me. And it's been over 2 years. It's been over 2.5 years since Al was killed. And I've just been I've been trying to heal from 2 strokes and COVID, and which I got after my vaccines. I ended up with the Delta. And then with medication that was wrong for me. I've been battling so many wars, and I just feel like all these battles are getting to me to a point that I don't see how I'll ever get any advantage to life. And then I thought, just try one thing. One thing will be what you need to do. So I saw how pretty it was. I had the wonderful news of the baby that beautiful Savannah was in labor for little Terrence. I looked outside and went, you know what? You get dressed. You can do it. I know you haven't had a lot of sleep, but go out and see if you can get dressed and out of the house. Now, granted, I have no idea if I do anything else today. I'm sitting in my driveway right now because I was soaking wet from, because I also ended up stopping at Walgreens to get a couple of necessities. I was out of toilet paper, and the gentleman helped me out, but I broke out in sweats because of the effort. And that's more because I'm still recovering from having such massive nosebleeds, but I did it. I didn't have somebody else to have to do it. I did it myself. Now, I know I can't go grocery shopping on my own. And I know I can't do other things on my own, but that's okay. It's actually nicer to go with somebody. But I have to show that I can be independent. Because if not, what good is it? I mean, I can't live in assisted living. I can't afford it. I can't live in a nursing home because it would drive me crazy, for one thing. I don't need it. But I have my own little mobile home here, and I need to get it emptied out. And I need to try to figure out solutions for living here. But, I can't see a way if we end up in a dictatorship. So, for me, it all comes back down to making sure I'm in a free country. And I know some people don't think we are, but trust me, we are. So anyway, 2/26/24. How about that? I hope everybody votes. In Michigan, it's tomorrow, but we had early we could do today. I hope everybody remembers how important it is to vote. Bye.